Welcome to Nalanda's WebShaala series. I would like to thank Padma Bhushan Dr. Srimati Kanakrele, Director, Nalanda Dance Research Center, Dr. Srimati Umarele, Principal, Nalanda Nritya Mahavidyalaya, for giving me this opportunity to conduct a session in the series. I would also like to thank the technical team of Nalanda, Mrs. Vaidehi Lal, Mr. Vignesh Mahajan and Sri Narendraji for their technical support. The topic for today's session is the element of story in Indian dance. In this session, we will review the journey of this popular genre of Indian literature through various theatrical forms across the country where the art of story narration predominates. One finds multiple definitions of the word katha, but what is expected in the context of this topic is katha is a type of religious story narration, often involves professional storytellers known as kathavachakas or vyasas. Stories are of a didactic nature and are used to inculcate moralistic values in the masses. Katha has occupied a significant place in Indian literature. One gets references to this popular genre of literature right from the ancient era, medieval era to the modern era. Samhitas, Brahmanas, Upanishads, Puranas, Akhyanas, Gathas, Itihasas, Mahakavyas, Lalitas, Muktakavyas, Champukavyas, etc. are some of the best examples of it. Katha has given rise to an interesting art of story narration known as Katha Kathana. With the passage of time, the art of Katha Kathana became an important aspect of various religious, ritualistic and social practices, giving rise to the community of artists who practice this art as their profession. These artists were known by various names such as Kathavachakas, Bhattas, Vyasas, Shailushas, Akhyanavidas, Itihasakaras, so on and so forth. In due course of time, to make the Katha Kathana more intense and effective, use of hand gestures, facial expressions, instrumental music, vocal music, footwork were introduced in the art of Katha Kathana. In short, the element of Natya was introduced. In the Natya Shastra, says Bharata, describes Natya as Trailokyanukarana, meaning Natya is an imitation of the three worlds, describing the activities of the living beings of the three worlds, wherein Katha plays a vital role. Bharata addresses it as Vastu. The art of story narration has given rise to the multiple theatre forms across the country. Some of them are specifically story narrative forms. These presentations are in a solo or a duet format with minimal accessories. They are Chakyarkut, Ojapali, Hari Katha Kalakshepam, Bhagavat Katha, Burra Katha, Talamadale, Kirtan, etc. These were the religious forms. Now we come to the ritualistic forms, which include Pandavani, Gondhal, Jagran, Nagamandal, etc. There are some of the secular forms which are like Pada, Kavadbachan, Patua, Chitrakathi, puppets, etc. to name a few. Let us have a look at the picture presentation of some of these forms. I would like to underline some observations here. that many of these forms have contributed in shaping up other forms, or it could be just a mutual give and take between the art forms. For example, the art of Chakyarkooth has laid the foundation for the entire theatre tradition in Kerala. Harikatha Kalakshepam, the devotional narrative form, was developed all over the southern region of India, was nurtured by various saint poets known as Bhagavatas. Apart from poetic writing, some of them were excellent musicians who have composed various krutis rendered in traditional Carnatic music system, depicting various types of bhakti. The tala system used in Harikatha is of 3 beats, 5 beats or 7 beats with Ushinadai, which is an offbeat that is used in Bharatanatyam dance style too. Forms like Pandavani, Povada project hero worship and boost patriotic spirit. The most interesting part of this study is the story narration through picture scrolls. These study the art of story narration through picture scrolls claim its antiquity to the era before the Aryan penetration into Indian territory. The cave paintings are the best examples of it. In the ancient times, the wooden planks which were painted with various paintings known as Yamapattika, Manika, etc. The most admirable part of the study is that the dedication of the community of the artists who have been religiously practicing these forms from generations together against all the odds with the same zeal. Indian theatre develops further. The art of narration moves ahead, and now it is presented as a group performance, wherein every single character is presented by an individual artist. We have a range of such performances known as dance dramas. In the textual term, they are known as Uparupakas, where the element of dance predominates the narration. These dance dramas are as follows. In the religious dance drama category, we have Kodiyatam, Krishnatam, Ramanatam, Bhagavad Melanatakam, Rasa Leela, Ramaleela, Ankiyanat, etc. We have some of the ritualistic dance dramas such as Mudiyetta, Patayani, Teyyam, Theater, etc. Secular dance dramas are known by Kuruvanjanatakas, Jatra from Bengal, Terrakutu, Dashavatari Khele, Nautanki, Kamsanatakam, etc. Styles like Kathakali, Kathak exclusively determine the role played by the art of Katha Kathana. Their names itself indicate relevance to the word Katha and the art of Katha Kathana. Style like Kuchipudi shows strong influence of dramatic origin. It has influence of Yakshagana and Kuchipudi Natakams. Style like Bharatanatyam also shows affinity to the art forms like Sadiranatyam and Kuruvanjanatakam. Styles like Kathakali and Kathak exclusively determine the role played by the art of Katha Kathana. Their names itself indicate relevance to the word Katha and the art of story narration. Style like Kuchipudi shows strong affinity of the dramatic tradition of the region called Yakshagana. Style like Bharatanatyam also shows influence of the regional forms like Sadiranatyam and Kuruvanjanatikam. Likewise, almost every dance style which is classical in the format shows affinity to the various regional theatre forms. Kudiyattam comes from Kerala. Scholars claim that Kudiyattam is the continuation of ancient Sanskrit theatre, but it is not the same as it was thousands of years ago. Like Kudiyattam, the other dance drama forms coming from the southern part of India are Bhagavad Melanatakam, Vithinatakam, Terukuthu, Bhamakalapam, Yakshagana. Study shows that all these dance drama forms belong to the generic literary form called Yakshagana. Many of these traditions flourished under the patronage offered by the rulers of varied religious faith, which also shows its impact on the thematic content and presentation aspect of these dance dramas. Many saint poets who contributed in the growth of these forms believed that devotion becomes perfect only when the Puranic stories, full of spiritual and philosophic meanings, are enacted through dance, music, and drama. Folk dance dramas like Yatra, Nautanki, Bhavai, Tamasha project a gradual shift from classic theatre to the popular theatre dominated by dramatic narrative singing. As one narrows down the study on the emergence of the classical dance styles, one realizes that many of the narrative forms and dance drama traditions have immensely contributed in shaping some of the present classical dance forms. Most of the dance styles have been nurtured in the temples, either by the Devadasis or by the professional artists as a regular temple ritual. That is the reason Bhakti element was strongly propagated, which has obviously reflected in the thematic content of the dance styles. The element of Katha governs the Abhinaya aspect of the dance style. It is found in the poetry form, which is sung in the classical music, appropriate for the specific dance form. The visual manifestation of the poetry is done according to the traditional technical format. By performing any Abhinaya item in the format of any classical dance form, the technicalities, those are usually taken care of, such as bhavarthas, shabdarthas, vakyarthas, dhvanyarthas, the hastas, the mudras, the musical support, the instruments, all these technicalities somewhere resonate resemblance to the regional theatre forms from where the style originates. In today's times, when the classical dance forms are studied across the world, the practical demonstration of these regional forms may not be possible, but one can always go through the references. Those are available in the books or on the online social platforms. No art can be mastered in an isolation. The holistic approach seems necessary in learning the art form thoroughly. Depending upon the origin and development of the dance style, styles which have had the temple background stress upon the narrative method of Abhinaya. Styles which have evolved out of the theatre traditions have strong dramatic element in the presentation of the theme. Styles which are more of a social background have the narrative interpretation in the projection of the Abhinaya. Even though each style differs in its manifestation of the thematic presentation, all the dance styles always had scope for the interpretations and have shown an ability to change with the times without changing the format of the textual tradition. Now, you may ask that stories which have come to us from the remote past, how do they make relevance to us in today's times? In reply to this question, I would like to draw your attention to the very fact that although all the classical dance forms are bound by the rules laid down by the Natya Shastra, in spite of this, these art forms have been carried forward and sustained by the oral traditions for the generations together. And so, these art forms allow a certain measure of interpretations, and that is the reason why these art forms are breeding even today. In order to explain this point more in detail, I would like to present a small piece of Abhinaya from a Padam. This Padam narrates the story of a hunchback woman called Kubja. I would like to explain this item in Kanakji's own words so that it gives you an insight into the thinking process of a well-read, scholarly, thinking artist who uses her art effectively to comment upon the wrong practices in the society. Kubja in Raga Yadukula Kamboji and Tala Mishra Jap. This item is based on the Oriya poem of the poet Sitakant Mohapatra, rendered in Malayalam by late Kavalam Narayan Panikar. This item is woven round a hunchback, maidservant, and Lord Krishna. Kubja is eternally damned because of her physical handicap. She has a hum on her back. This hum has been interpreted as the hum arousing from the trauma of servitude and torture that Indian woman has been facing for millennia. It is Kubja's duty to make chandana paste and apply it on the body of evil king Kamsa of Mathura in his private chambers. Bent with the burden of carrying heavy vessels to the palace, her lonely and soul yearns for beauty, solace, and love. She has heard of Krishna and his love, and she beseeches him to come and relieve her from the bondage of slavery of evil Kamsa. Krishna comes to her and asks for only a little bit of chandana for tilaka, and in return he breaks the changing bondage and removes the hum of oppression from her back. Kubja's body and soul attains beatitude at the hands of Lord Krishna. Padam, Kubja. With this presentation, I conclude today's session. Once again, thank you one and all. Thank you.
ഘനശ്യാമ കൃഷ്ണ ഘനശ്യാമ കൃഷ്ണ കാത്തു ഞാൻ കാത്തു കാത്തു നിന്നു ഞാൻ കാത്തു കാത്തു നിന്നു ഞാൻ ഘനശ്യാമ കൃഷ്ണ നിന്നെ ഘനശ്യാമ കൃഷ്ണ നിന്നെ കാത്തു നിന്നു ഞാൻ കാത്തു കാത്തു നിന്നു ഞാൻ കണവൻ ഇല്ലാത്തവൻ ഞാൻ ഒരു സൈരന്ത്രി നിഷ്ഫല മാമ ജീവിതം മരുഭൂമിയിലെ കാൽപ്പാടു മാത്രം നിഷ്ഫല മാമ ജീവിതം മരുഭൂമിയിലെ കാൽപ്പാടു മാത്രം ഞാനോ 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 കംസന്റെ ഏകാന്ത ദാസി ഞാനോ കംസന്റെ ഏകാന്ത ദാസി ഞാനോ കംസന്റെ ഏകാന്ത ദാസി ശൂന്യമെൻ ഹൃദയ സരസി ശൂന്യമെൻ ഹൃദയ സരസി ഒരു തിരയും നീല പവനനും അനന്വതില്ല ഞാൻ കാത്തു കാത്തു നിന്നു ഘനശ്യാമ കൃഷ്ണ നിന്നെ ഘനശ്യാമ കൃഷ്ണ നിന്നെ കാത്തു നിന്നു ഞാൻ കാത്തു കാത്തു നിന്നു ഞാൻ
തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദഗ ദിത്തിത്തേ തിമിർദഗ ദിത്തിത്തേ ദിത്തിത്തേ തിമിർദക്കിണ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദക്കിണ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദക്കിണ തിമിർദഗ ദിത്തിത്തേ തിമിർദക്കിണ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദക്കിണ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദഗ തിമിർദക്കിണ തിമിർദഗ ദിത്തിത്തേ ദിത്തിത്തേ തിമിർദഗ 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 തിമിർദഗ
ആരുടെയും ഗൂഢഭാവവും അറിഞ്ഞവനെ നീ എന്നോടും ചോദിച്ചതെന്തേ ഇത്തിരി കളഭം മാത്രം ഇത്തിരി കളഭം മാത്രം ഇത്തിരി കളഭം